Hello, today I'm at the Diefenbunker in Carp, Ontario, Canada. I'm going to take you on a tour. Let's go.
Wow. I think when we matched this up before, we got it wrong. I think they filmed them coming this way. Because look, this thing on the wall is not on this side, and all these are on that side. I think they filmed them coming this way. Everybody says it's this way, but I think that's incorrect. It's right about where they were right now.
We must be ready for a new reaction. The atomic bomb. But we can't survive. The Emergency Measures Organization says we can take 11 steps to aid that survival. Step 1, know the effects of nuclear explosion. There's a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen. It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings, knock signboards over. There are two kinds of them, with warning and without any warning. You may be in your schoolyard playing when the signal comes. That signal means to stop whatever you are doing and get to the nearest safe place fast. Duck and cover wherever you are. There's no time to look around or wait. When danger threatens any ever got, he knew just what to do.
Future generations may very well point to this night and say, that was the night.
Lost his garden streams. He's so weak. Tell you.
Hello.
Did you know that the walls are yellow because it's.
Designers of the bunker took into account every health need of staff and personnel in a possible nuclear attack, including their teeth. Coded messages would have flooded into the bunker during a nuclear attack throughout CFS Carp operational years. During the Cold War, the Message Control Center had to sort them quickly and accurately. Teletype technology was the military's most secure method of communication for much of the Cold War. A small army of technicians were required to keep the bunker machines in top condition. If the blast tunnel entrance was blocked, 2 emergency hatches provided another way for personnel to get out. View of workers and the progress of building shearheads, August 4th, 1960. The Bank of Canada vault is ready for a concrete pour on June 8th, 1960. The construction of the Diefenbunker soon became public knowledge. The newspaper article on the left gives an idea of the revealed the secret purpose of the bunker for the first time. The nature of the threat to Canada is now such, as you are well aware, that unless active civilian preparations are undertaken, there is a very real danger that under attack, the country would not hold together as an economic and political entity. This in turn would prevent the conduct of effective military operations. This exhibition is located in the former sleeping quarters for military personnel. The Diefenbunker is committed to conserving original fixtures wherever possible. Look for traces of their original use throughout the exhibit. Cold War, a state of hostility without open warfare between countries. The Cold War was a state of political tension between the Soviet Union and the United States and its allies between 1945 and 1991. Between 1945 and 1991, world superpowers engaged in a fierce cold conflict.
Non, non, voilà, personne. Non, on peut sortir par ici.
C'est bon, on va faire un petit tour dans ce sens-là, juste pour vérifier.
Following decades of Japanese occupation, Northern Korea, bordered by China and the Soviet Union, embraced communism, the South democracy. In 1950, North Korea invaded. The United Nations sent in troops, including 26,000 Canadians, to quell the incursion.
And your family is ill this shelter. Do you know when fallout shelter should be used against fallout or black? Or how will we
The United Nations promoted peace through diplomacy. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, focuses on collective defense. An attack on one is an attack on all. Most Canadians live near the U.S. border, and many have strong ties to their southern neighbors. During the Cold War, this proximity created anxieties about Canada's role in a possible nuclear war and the real possibility of our total destruction.
Canada tries in every way to preserve peace, but at the same time must be ready for every eventuality. The possibility of a nuclear war cannot be ignored. That is why the federal government has issued this pamphlet, Survival in Likely Target Areas. Individual families, in making their survival plans, must give attention both to evacuation and to shelter. That is what this pamphlet is about. If you live in one of Canada's larger urban areas, I urge you to obtain a copy and read it carefully.
Today's Canadian Pacific, working for all Canadians in essential industries.
Just suppose that these balloons represent Canadian Pacific shareholders. At one time, most of our
Plan for
shares were
tomorrow,
owned in
today.
other countries. But over the years, that has all changed. Until today, the majority of our shares are owned by Canadians. And that certainly gives us a lift.
Today's Canadian Pacific. Working for all
He's a public servant enough.
For most Canadians, the blue helmet worn by UN peacekeepers symbolizes the rational, measured response needed to de-escalate volatile international crises.
You forgot to buy the book. Now click. You like to take
But it's late. That's awesome. That's big. It is.
After the Cold War ended, the likelihood of nuclear annihilation seemed remote. What should be done with the millions of bunkers? You are standing in the center of a bunker from the Cold War era. It was designed to serve as Canada's central emergency government headquarters in the event of a nuclear attack. Fortunately, it was never needed. The bunker was the humming hub of a Cold War communications when it operated as Canadian Forces Station Carp between 1961 and 1994. It is now Canada's Cold War Museum.
Canada. Coordinated universal time. 18 hours, 26 minutes.
The emergency radio room. Radio is essentially a broadcast. The emergency radio room is a flexible station that can send out signals widely in contrast to the military's point-to-point radio transmissions. Emergency transmitter room. Communication technology would have connected governments and the Canadian military during nuclear war. CFS Carp was a key military communications hub throughout the Cold War. The nuclear family kitchen. The advent of long-range missiles and nuclear-armed submarines hampered the DEW line's effectiveness. The military eventually abandoned most stations. They left everything behind: personal belongings, food, equipment, and most notably hazardous waste. Inuit faced barrels, seeping fluid, fuel, materials containing cancer-causing PCBs and asbestos, radioactive tubes, and harmful chemicals such as lead and mercury. While construction of the DEW line during the Cold War was swift, cleaning up the waste had taken decades. Replica of nuclear core. Food ration, tin can, and key. Gun loaded safety notice. Early computerized gun turret control box. Unidentified handle with knob. Evidence of 1954 United States Air Force expedition. Evidence of post-1997 Canada Forces mission. Anti-exposure flying glove. Portable conventional bomb hoist crank. Survival manual. Bomb release mechanism. Lieutenant Colonel McDonald's toiletries. Leather United States Air Force flying glove. Life preserver vest. Hot water heater spigot. Handkerchief still folded. Tools from forward compartment. Air navigation ruler. Detonators. Salvo relay box from the bomb shackle. Electronic systems connector from the bomb shackle. Fabric aircraft control surface from wing. Tip of the blade plane rudder. Flight instrument. Navigation compass. Glass tubes from fuses. Serial number from a plane wing. Cold War Berlin. East German armband. During the workers' uprising, this force worked with Soviet soldiers and tanks to crush protesters. Though not directly responsible for the transportation of cargo, in 1948 the SAC mobilized units to Britain and West Germany as a show of force against the Soviet blockade. During the time of crisis, political cartoons such as those presented here effectively made light of very serious situations. Soviet officers Carp.
The shuttle are 60 B-29s, which arrive at an airfield in England, a base from which American planes once bombed Germany. Now these Yanks may fly in a... Endless cars of vitally needed coal are stalled by the Russian blockade of Berlin. But that is only part of the story.
East German DDR or border guard uniform and peak cap.
And the fuel famine forces drastic power cuts. Berlin becomes a city of darkness as all ground communication is severed and industry comes to a standstill. But the West of the Lines fights back with an airlift of 450 flights daily, carrying thousands of tons of food into the beleaguered capital.
Hat and stamp used by American MP Michael Rafferty during the last days of Checkpoint Charlie. This is the logbook used by American MP Michael Rafferty during the last days of Checkpoint Charlie. the health center. In case of a nuclear event, this compact medical center had to keep all personnel inside the bunker healthy and functional without outside help or additional supplies.
Our problem is finding technicians that are no more than 18 inches high. That was not possible. So come on along. This is the hospital here, very small but complete hospital. If you go down the corridor that way, your first opening on the left is the operating room, so go take a peek and see how well equipped it was. Far left is a laboratory for a technician. The far right is the doctor's examining room. Open on your right is the pharmacy. There's a small 3-bed infirmary here. An X-ray machine or coffee maker back there. And
Damals, 70 Jahre.
you guys went back down to the coordinator. It's a might be the biggest storm we've had.
Probably.
Yeah.
The media likes to cook beer and.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So there's a lot of stuff here. I did mention the building, I mentioned the building was stripped empty in 1994. So we have 3 levels of artifacts in the building. Level 1 artifacts are things that were taken from the building and found them brought them back again. Those are rare. I'll show you when I find them. Level 2 artifacts are of the time, but not of the building. Everything you see in this area back in the bunker. So possible later. Then we have level 3 artifacts, which are basically eye candy, things that we have.
Private telephone booths. These small telephone booths directly connected the bunker to a secure external telephone system that reached across Canada. The Federal Warning Center. The Federal Warning Center would have assessed the impact of a nuclear attack on civilian populations and reported these findings to the emergency government. The War Cabinet Room. In Canada, a legitimate emergency government had to have at least 5 people, the Governor General and 4 ministers, one of which would likely be the Prime Minister. As the Cold War wound down, bunker offices received only minor upgrades. Keypad phones and desktop computers replaced old rotary phones and typewriters, reflecting evolving workspaces above ground. Office workers saved their information on floppy disks, not on pads of paper. This space shows the beginning of an office going digital.
Really? Looks bigger than our driving cool.
Oh, yeah. Because anything cold.
I guess so.
Yeah, all that computer stuff there does not have the computing.
The Ottawa semi-automatic exchange. Inevitably, computerization replaced earlier communication technologies. The OSAX computers were cutting edge and top secret in the early 1980s. These artifacts are examples of the type of technology used in the mid-1970s when the Ottawa semi-automatic exchange at Canada Force Station Carp was designed. Women in the bunker. Planners anticipated that as many as 110 women would be stationed in the bunker during a nuclear war, mostly in medical and administrative support roles. Had a nuclear conflict erupted, upward of 20 designated dormitories on the 300 level would have housed 4 to 6 women each. Most emergency scenarios imagined women performing typical gendered roles such as nursing or secretarial duties. The Prime Minister's suite. Living in the bunker necessarily meant close quarters. Only the Prime Minister and the Governor General had private suites. This is the Minister of External Affairs office.
There you go. Yep.
The Bank of Canada Vault. The Bank of Canada kept a large quantity of gold to guarantee the value of Canadian currency. During a nuclear war, the gold had to be kept safe from destruction and radiation. This space is dedicated to the memory of all those who suffered and perished in the cause of freedom and peace during the Cold War. Cold storage and morgue. In the depths of the bunker, cold rooms preserved enough food to keep everyone fed and healthy. Realistic planning also meant designating one of the cold rooms as a possible morgue. This is the cafeteria and restaurant. Keeping minds and bodies healthy, whether stationed at the bunker during peacetime or during an anticipated nuclear war, included a highly structured routine, good food, physical exercise, games, and socializing. Mechanics, ensuring all military members have access to familiar goods no matter where they are stationed in the world, even 4 stories underground. The Canadian Forces Exchange System, CanEx, is an active retail operation made up of stores and services that meet the unique needs of the military community. Founded as Maple Leaf Services in 1954 and formally christened as CanEx in 1968, its mandate is to ensure that all military families have access to consumer goods and services no matter where they are stationed or posted. In 1961, the world hovered on the brink of nuclear war. In the event of attack, the Canadian government planned to run the country from a secret underground command center. It became known as the Diefenbunker. The Diefenbunker could house more than 500 workers and government officials and contained a massive communications complex to gather news and issue government directives. Once the blast doors were closed, the Diefenbunker could maintain human life for 30 days. The Cold War was a time of fear and paranoia, yet the world's superpowers did not detonate its vast nuclear arsenal. Today, the Diefenbunker is a reminder of how close the world came to nuclear destruction and how disaster was averted. The Royal Canadian Air Force was equipped with nuclear weapons in Germany from 1964 to 1972. The CF-104 Starfighter aircraft could be equipped with the B-43 thermonuclear bomb, the larger of the two bomb casings on display. The B-43 was produced in 1956 at the American Los Alamos National Laboratory, which housed the Manhattan Project during the Second World War. Considered a bunker buster bomb, the B-43 was capable of penetrating fortified military structures both above and underground. The smaller Mark 83, a low-drag general-purpose bomb, is still in use today as a jet aircraft bomb. Both bombs are painted to show they were used for bombing practice. They are on loan from the Canadian War Museum.